This look like a glare from this side.
I do see that glare on the side, but you're clear. Like your picture, you yourself is very clear.
Okay.
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 All right. Hello, everybody. We are live now. Welcome to an audio episode of the DTI Takeover Show. I am your host, one of your hosts, Miss Kayla, here on Total Praise Radio, where we are highlighting and spotlighting people who are out here making a difference, making an impact within our community. And this young lady is no different. I have the honor to have Rev Bev the plug, Miss Beverly Sanders, with us today. Hello, Miss Beverly. How are you?
Hello. I am well. I am well. How are you?
I am well as well. Thank you. Um, Before we get into Thrive community and things like that, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, I am Beverly Sanders, known as Rev Bev. A lot of people call me Rev Bev. I am a native Washingtonian, and I am an alumni of Eastern High School, the Eastern High School Choir. Go
Oh,
Ramblers! All right. I have been doing youth ministry for the last 35 years. This July will be 35 years. So I
wow.
have always had a passion to work with young people, to work with
Okay.
families, to help them see beyond where they are, help them see hope in themselves, help them see just hope in
Mhm.
themselves. So, I'm just a regular person that just likes to see the good in people.
Mhm.
People always, they always say you're always happy, you're always glad, you're always, so just because I don't have much to be sad about. And even the things that, that may make me sad or anything like that, I still
Mhm.
find joy, and life in everything around me. So, I am
Wow.
I don't have any kids. I don't have any biological children, but I have plenty children that I have raised. So people always tell me, stop telling people that you don't have kids, because
Right. You
through
do.
my years, through youth ministry, I have mentored, mothered, and guided a whole lot of them. So I am not a biological mother, but I am a surrogate mother to so many that I am very, very proud of. Um, I I live here in DC. I work as a case manager full time at some. What one of the jobs that I love to do is just helping people connect with resources and things like that. So, I'm just a fun loving person. I'm family oriented. I like game nights. I like movie nights.
Okay.
I'm not a big party person, but I love to
Mhm.
dance when I get a chance to dance. Those type of things. So, even though it says Rev Bev, I'm still Beverly.
Right.
Saying
Right.
so
Right.
Beverly and Rev Bev still likes to do a lot of the same things, help people have fun, and I just like to enjoy life,
I
basically.
can see. I can.
And
I
in
can see that.
doing that, I help people in the process.
I can definitely see that just from your personality. Um, you said something very interesting. How did you get to a place where you could take some a sad occasion or a hurtful instance and still manage to find joy in it?
Well, it's interesting. It's because sometimes when things happen to us, we allow ourselves to sit with it and to dwell in it. And
Mhm.
so, I'm a praying woman.
Mhm.
So my prayer is always, God, give me strength to help me deal with whatever I'm going through or whatever I'm dealing with. And so I tell people all the time, which a good friend told me years ago, is to ask the Lord to give you strength and then let him give it to you. So
Mhm.
when I ask him to give me strength or to give me whatever it is I need in the midst of whatever I'm going through, I look to him for that joy, because I know that with everything there's a reason and a season. Everything there is a process. There
Right.
may be something that he wants me to learn, maybe something that he wants me to get out of it. So I rely on the Lord to give me the strength that I'm asking for. So then I let him give me that strength. I
Mm.
let him give me that joy, because sometimes those things can be just mere moments.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then once that moment is gone, then
Right.
you know, you can choose to allow what it is that you're going through um to ruin your whole day,
Mhm.
what I'm saying, or you can just take it with a grain of salt, and be like, okay, all right, Lord, but let's okay, okay, all
You
right.
don't have to stay there.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
don't
You
have
don't
to
have to
stay
stay
there.
there. So I choose not to stay there, and I go on about my day. I stay prayed up, and I give everything to God, because through him all things are possible.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
that he will never put more on us than we can bear. So,
Yes, ma'am.
and I rely on his promises, and I trust in his promises.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. I'll be honest. Sometimes I'll be like, God, I don't know why you trust me so much, because this is a lot. It seems like it's a lot. You must got a lot of trust in me to
Yes.
be able to handle this.
Mhm.
Because ooh wee, it get rocky sometimes. But that's amazing. So can you tell us about your program and what is that you offer?
Which ones? Like,
Let's talk
I
about
offer a lot of
Thrive.
things. I do a lot of things. I have a nonprofit called Thrive Community Service, and I also have an LLC called Breaking the Silence LLC. And so they kind of work in correlation with each other. They both provide life coaching. One of the things that Thrive has been doing, and we have partnered with a friend of mine who is the CEO of Divas and Sisterhood. We had partnered with them to do a group called Tea Time, and we ran that group for the last 9 years. When COVID hit, we started doing virtual.
Mhm.
So right now we're taking a break from that, and I'm in the process of redeveloping something similar to Tea Time called Real Time Table Talk.
Okay.
And so that is that's one of the main projects that Thrive is going to start working on, that we're starting to work on, like literally like right now, is
Okay.
that real time table talk. And real time table talk is just it's real time. It's just like, where are you right now in
Okay.
this moment? How are you feeling? What's going on the
Mhm.
inside of you? What are you going through? What are you dealing with? And creating a safe place so that people can sit down and talk about where they are at that moment, so
Mhm.
they can talk about their problems and get real solutions from real people who are dealing with real stuff. So,
Mhm.
real time table talk is something that God gave to me in 8 years ago. I literally wrote it out 8 years ago, and now he's bringing it back to me to put it out there, to
Mhm.
create this 10 to 12 week intensive coaching program where you will help people move beyond where they are. Real
Mhm.
talk, real means um, restored, empowered, authentic, and loved. And
Mhm.
remembering all those things, that we are real people
Mhm.
with real problems,
Right.
and we have real solutions that we can get from one another. So that's one of the main things that we're doing with Thrive right now.
Okay.
We also work with other organizations and do things like we'll be doing a backpack giveaway sometime this summer toward the end of the school year. I mean,
Okay.
beginning of the school year. So we'll be getting donations to do backpacks to give out to mostly the youth at Mount Lebanon Baptist Church, as well as the youth in the community. So we
Okay.
partner with Mount Lebanon Baptist Church, and we also partner with Foundations of Faith, and we collaborate together to make sure that we can get school supplies out to the kids that are in the community and help meet their needs during that time. So
Oh,
we do. I do a lot with Thrive. We do. So it's just like, what don't I do? I do a lot.
mhm.
Always connecting people to resources and services is one of the things that we do as well.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, with Thrive, ooh, I have my question. I'm so upset. I have my question. I'm curious to know. Okay, you mentioned that you wrote this out 8 years ago.
Hmm.
Why do you think it didn't happen 8 years ago to the point where now that it's ready for you to present now?
Well, I one a lot has happened within the last 8 years. And I think that I probably wasn't ready, or the Lord wasn't ready for me to do it, but He was ready to give me the vision for it.
Okay.
But I myself was not, probably not ready to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So then when I got the vision for it, I started doing tea time with my sister friend Natasha.
Okay.
And so then tea time kind of birthed itself,
Okay.
and so then God was just like, after probably about middle of this year,
Mm-hmm.
brought back to me that real time table talk, so because he always like, because I'll get off and I'll start doing other stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
then he'd be like, wait a minute, wait, I gave you a vision for something
Mm-hmm.
else. You still have that to do. So when I went in and I started looking, I started like trying to write up some stuff about, okay, so what is this real time table talk going to look like? What is it going to be? Things like that. And I was looking through my book, and the Lord said, go to the front.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the front of the book and I started looking through it, and I
Mm-hmm.
saw that had already written out everything,
Wow.
that the vision for it, all of it, saying. So, real time table talk is something that I'm trying to create to give people a space where they can talk about what they're dealing with and what they're going through, because we sit around a lot and we
Mm-hmm.
talk about nothing. You know,
That's
we, we talk
true.
about stuff that we binge watch on TV.
Yep.
People talk about people. You
Yep.
talk about what you see on Facebook. You talk
Mm-hmm.
about, all kinds of things. So, how is it that you have all these friends that you sit around and you talk with, or
Mm-hmm.
your family that you sit around and you talk with, and nobody knows what you're going through? Nobody knows your story. So
Mm-hmm.
then when something like a suicide hits your circle,
Mm-hmm.
everybody is sitting there wondering
What happened?
what
What was
happened.
wrong? Mm-hmm.
Nobody
Hello.
sees it. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
how is it that if we all are together all the time, doing all kinds of things, watching movies, cooking out,
Right.
going to church together, all that kind of stuff, and then something like this hits your group,
Mm-hmm.
so then it causes you to reevaluate your circle that you're in, and then why aren't you talking about some real stuff with the people that are closest to you that you can
Mm-hmm.
support? What I'm saying? So then, that's kind of how breaking the silence came about. Breaking the silence came about because we sit in silence
Yes.
so long and so much about whatever it is that we're going through. you know
Yes.
it could be anything.
Right.
you know it could be depression. It could be that you're a diabetic and you don't want people around you to know, or that you have high blood pressure, you don't want people to know, or that you're a survivor from sexual or physical or emotional abuse, or anything. Or it could be that you just tired and
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to tell your family,
Oh, I'm tired.
you know
Yes.
what, I'm tired. Can I get a break sometimes? Saying
Yeah.
that I need to breathe a little bit. I need to take care of myself a little bit and not feel selfish. So,
Right.
um, that's what breaking the silence is. And so we incorporate all of that with Thrive, with breaking the silence, and the work that we do to help people see beyond they are. Because people have a hard time seeing hope in themselves. Saying, seeing greatness in
Mm-hmm.
themselves, seeing
Absolutely.
wonderful things in themselves. So it's trying to help people see that.
I agree. I agree. Now, I've been calling you Dr. Bev this whole time.
I know, and I
I'm gonna
told you,
keep,
go ahead, you keep
I'm
calling
gonna
me
keep
David.
calling you Dr. Bev right now.
Yes. Okay.
Dr. Bev, you hit something for me because I can speak from personal experience. I don't like to share my personal feelings with
Hmm.
people necessarily. And because there's a distrust with, can I trust you with that something so vulnerable to me? Can I trust you with this information
Hmm.
about myself that I have now given to you? What are you doing with this that I've given to you? And that's come off of things that have happened um with people closest to me. That's family, that's previous relationships. It's just like the trust has been broken to a point where I would rather hold it in
Hmm.
than ever just come out and really be like, yo, this is really my problem.
Hmm.
On the flip side of that, though, it's also the matter of and I'm guilty of it as well, is that sharing, let's say if I have an issue with someone, it's the fact that the lack of accountability
Mm.
is that person not accepting that, okay, this is what you did to me, or this is how I feel about something that happened, and this is how it made me feel, and to kind of like brush it off.
Mhm.
Like I have no right to feel that way, or just because
Mhm.
you don't agree with it, it didn't happen, or you know, like
Mhm.
it's a lot. And so
Yeah.
is that something that you come across often?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is that what you do basically?
Yeah. Yeah. People, it takes time, you know. I mean, like I said, we've been doing like, for instance, tea time for like 9 years. It took a
Yeah.
while for people to start getting, because when we first started tea time, my friend Tasha was just like, okay, we're gonna do this 6 week thing, you know.
Hmm.
And then 6 week ended up being 3 months, and then it ended up being 5 months, and then it ended up being 6 months, because we realized that it takes time for people to get to know each other,
Yeah.
to lower down,
Hmm.
saying the barrier, so they
Hmm.
feel comfortable telling you about what's going on the inside of them, and telling you about like what they're really dealing with. So it takes time for people to develop that trust.
Yeah.
And so people do stay silent because they have that fear of judgment. They
Hmm.
fear retribution. They have that fear of nobody is going to understand how I feel. And
Hmm.
then we have that feeling of, oh, I can handle this by myself.
Yeah.
Say I can do this by myself. They are scared of being judged and what people are going to think about them. But when you start talking, you start realizing, especially when you start developing a bond with the group that you're in, you
Hmm.
start realizing that you're not the only person that thinks that way, and you ain't the only person that feels that way, and you're definitely not the only person that is struggling with that thing that you're struggling with. And that could be trust,
Hmm.
say it could be anything. And it's like, when it's in that trust thing can be very difficult.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
It can be very, very difficult when learning how to trust people, really,
Yes, ma'am.
especially when your heart has been broken so many times, and then you don't know who to trust and who to not to trust. What I'm saying? And so, me, because I'm Red Bev,
Hmm.
and that
Hmm.
spirit of discernment, I'm saying, that when something in your spirit tells you to be quiet,
Hmm.
or something you feel like you should not tell that person this.
Hmm.
Sometimes you got to listen to your heart,
Hmm.
for real. Definitely. For me, I know that's how the Holy Spirit speaks to me. What I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to listen to your heart sometimes, because sometimes our mind will be like, okay, go ahead, but sometimes
Right.
people, yeah, we
Right.
we we dismiss it. What I'm
Hmm.
saying? But sometimes you got to listen to your heart and understand, um, pay attention to that internal clock, that internal alarm that
Hmm.
goes off inside of you when you start feeling certain things, certain ways about certain things. So that's important. That's why it's important to put yourself first,
Hmm.
and to love yourself first, and to do all those things, because then when your alarms start going off and you start feeling uncomfortable in certain situations,
Hmm.
excuse me,
Hmm.
when your spirit just doesn't feel right, so those things will start going off, those alarms will start going off. So then you'll start learning who to trust and who not to trust, you
Hmm.
know, and then being prayerful and asking God to put the right people around you, put that support around you, so that
Hmm.
you'll know the right person that you need to talk to and to pray
Absolutely.
with when you have something that you need help with, whatever you're going through, or whatever,
Hmm.
things like that. So it's like, so those type of groups, kind of create that type of bond that
Okay.
you have. It's authentic.
Hmm.
Say tea time is raw and it's uncut. I'm telling you, it's like it's like no other, but it's real and it's true. It's like, you're there, and you can talk with your sisters or your brothers or a combination of people, and
Hmm.
you just Sometimes the people just be like, I don't even know why I'm talking about this, because normally they don't.
Right.
But they do, say that's because when you create an environment
Right.
where people feel safe to talk and to just be who they are, their true authentic self, then God does the rest for real.
Absolutely.
He does the rest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. There's you feel like the wall coming down. You can feel it like, okay, this ain't so bad. You dealt with that too? Okay. and that's I enjoy, me personally, I enjoy a real open conversation, dialogue of like, yo, these are real life issues. This is what's happening to me right now. And not be talked around it. I don't like the riddles. I don't like none of that. Like, I need straight talk, straight to the point, and like a solution or some type of direction. I don't need you to go around it and tell me that, okay, well, you gotta you gotta do X, Y, and Z. But you don't really tell me how to do it. I just know I gotta pray. I just know I should probably go to church. I should do these things and these things and that. But I really have no direction. Like, I have no start.
And
And so
that's what we want to do with Real Time Table Talk.
okay.
So we want to give people a starting place.
Yeah.
So we want to, if you don't know where to start and you feel like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm lost.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We want you to sit down and talk
Right.
about why you're feeling lost, so that you're sitting next to someone who was lost 3 years ago or was lost last year. So I tell people when they come to tea time, I say that tea time is a place where you get knowledge and you give knowledge. You know what I'm saying? It's a place where you give wisdom and you get wisdom, because of the vast of how diverse the group is. So, it's a starting place for so many people. So then let's start here. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm doing is I'm starting with 18 to 25-year-old young women. We're starting with young women and developing a 10 to 12 week coaching program with them to start them where they are. Because in talking with a couple of them in the last couple of weeks, a lot of them don't know what their passion is. They don't know even their purpose or what it is that they want to do.
Right.
So Real Time Table Talk is that place that you sit and you talk about, like, okay, well, why can't I go? Why every time this happens, I do this?
Yes.
Or why am I always chasing the wrong kind of guy?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Why can't I let go of these friends or doing this, and those type of things, and figuring out, like, where are you right now in this moment? How do you feel? Okay. And when you can identify that, then we can move on from there, but it's paying attention to that. What did I say? That internal alarm. We have to be intentional.
Okay.
When it comes to ourselves. We have to be intentional when it comes to our spiritual development, our mental development, our emotional development, our social development, and our physical development. We have to be intentional. And that means that you have to be able to recognize where you are at that moment and what's around you. And if something around you is not right, then what do you need to do to put you at peace or in a place of peace?
Gotcha.
So that you can move on from this point to the next.
That makes sense. See, Dr. Bev, that's why you the doctor. I'm telling you, you Dr. Bev. You're going to get us all together. I love it. What, before we wrap this up, I do want to ask you, what made you so passionate about this?
I think, well, largely my parents, growing up in a 2-parent household and always seeing my parents helping other people. and loving helping other people and seeing other people love being around my parents
Okay.
because of the kind of people that they were. You know what I'm saying? Because they
Mhm.
were always the kind of people that encouraged people, that imparted wisdom, or they just was. My parents loved God, and because they loved God, they loved his people, and
Mhm.
that poured out into their life. So
Mhm.
people would come to our house and literally just sit with my parents and just not ever want to leave. You know, they'll be here for
Mhm.
hours, you know, because they felt so comfortable here. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So seeing how my parents connected to people, how they loved on people, and then, they say that when you are, whatever you're doing when you're about 6 years old,
Mhm.
it's usually what you're going to become. Something it's usually going to be what you end up doing. I remember
Okay.
asking my mom one day. I said, "What was I doing when I was 6 years old?" She was just like counseling your friends in elementary school. So, which is funny because all my life I wanted to be a nurse until I got ready to go to college, and
Wow.
then I took a general psych class, and I said, "This is what I'm meant to do." You know what I'm saying? So it's just who God created me to be. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I have, I am blessed with the intuitiveness to be able to sense and know sometimes when someone is not okay, when they say I'm okay, and I say I don't believe you.
Mhm.
And I told them, I said, tell me why I don't believe that you're okay. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll start talking, or they'll say, I'm not going to
Mhm.
tell you anything. And all I have to do is ask for a simple question. You know,
Mhm.
so um, it's just who God created me to be. It's just who he made me to be. He gave me this heart to love people. And because I love him,
Yes, ma'am.
I love his people. So my passion is him. And through that passion, I have a passion to serve his people. And
That is
that's
true.
young, that's old, that's, men and women, it is whoever is in need, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? And whoever he needs me to talk to, whoever
Absolutely.
he needs me to pour into, whoever he needs me to do, whatever he needs me to do, he does that. And
Mhm.
it just gives me the fulfillment when people come back to me and they say, you know what, that one conversation that I had with you literally changed my life. you
Mhm.
know or
Mhm.
when my young people come back to me and they said you sacrificed your life for
Mhm.
us,
Mhm.
and or when they say things when they say things about things that I taught them about, like meditation, or about
Mhm.
developing your own personal relationship with God, and those things, that just makes me that just makes my heart just leap for joy, when they graduate from high school or college or getting married, and I get
Mhm.
invitations in the mail for that, you know what I'm saying? And like I go to places and all of their families there, and I'm the only one that's not a family member, you know what I'm saying? But I
Mhm.
got a ticket because I'm Rev Bev,
You better have it.
and
Them all your babies, Dr. Bev. Them
okay.
all your babies.
So I mean, I love what I do.
Mhm.
One of the things that I really love that I do is, right now we have, I work with my church. We have a virtual health ministry at my church,
Okay.
and I love doing that because it allows me to really um, be the church and the community at the same time.
Okay.
And I am so what we do is we do wellness checks. We check on people, see how they're doing. We get them connected to services and resources like housing and helping to get your rent paid, or if you need some food, or if you need insurance and things like that.
Mhm.
We help educate people on COVID because we know COVID has been such a big
Right.
thing,
Right.
for the last, few years. So we help
Right.
educate people on getting on getting vaccinated, on getting your flu shots and things like that, things that sometimes the church is supposed to be that community place where you're
Yes,
supposed to
ma'am.
get everything you need.
Yes,
You know
ma'am.
what I'm saying? So I want to, we so you get the word there, and you get
Mhm.
fellowship there, and then you get a person that helps connect you to helping you find housing, or helping you find mental health services, or helping you get connected to a place where you can go and your family can get tested for COVID, or you can get that vaccine and things like that, or you can get that mental health help that you need.
Yes, ma'am.
So helping people is my passion. saying, and so as long as I'm doing that, I'm happy.
I can see
As
that.
long as I'm creating a space where people feel
Mm-hmm.
safe
Mm-hmm.
and they feel loved,
Mm-hmm. That's it.
that's
And I
it.
can tell. I can tell. I love it, Dr. Bev. I had fun talking to you today. Look, you might need to adopt another daughter, Dr. Bev. I'm trying to
Okay,
tell
because
you.
I got, yes, because yeah, come on, honey, come on, come on, come on, come on.
And
Yes,
before I
yes.
let you go, can you please let everyone know how they can follow you on your social media and stay in contact with you?
Well, you can follow me on Facebook. My name on Facebook is Beverly R. Sanders. I also, Thrive Community Service is also on Facebook. You can follow me on Thrive Community Service. You can follow me on Breaking the Silence LLC DC on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram, where I think my Instagram is RevBev39. And then Thrive Community Service is also on that Instagram. You can find me on those places. If you need help, if you're out there, you need some help, you
Mm-hmm.
need somebody to talk to, you need some guidance,
Mm-hmm.
and you just need, you just need some hope. You
Mm-hmm.
can call me at 202 765-1435. You'll see those numbers on my Instagram, on my Facebook page, as well as the Thrive page.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Red Bed Plug, for being a guest on Total Praise Radio today.
Thank you.
I love it. I love speaking with you. I love your heart. I see the purity. I see the pure joy in you that you can tell that this is something that you're really passionate about. And I admire that about you, seriously. So thank you. It was our pleasure having you
Thank you
on
for
our
asking me. Thank you for the
platform.
opportunity.
No problem at all. Everybody else, if you are tuning in to right now, make sure you continue to check out Total Praise Radio by going to www.totalentradio.com. Hit the Total Praise Radio button. You'll catch Dr. Bev interview July 18th. July 18th. 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Total Praise Radio. Y'all make sure y'all continue to stay tuned. Until next time, I am your host, Miss Kayla. I am signing off. Peace. All right.